So, vocabulaire, les directions. So, revision for some people, new to others. Good little phrases in here and lots of vocabulary that you can use in lots of different circumstances as well, not just in les directions. There's lots of prepositions in there, for example. So, dans la rue, that's one for a start, in the street. So we use dans when we're talking about in the street. Pardon, monsieur, je suis un peu perdu. Je cherche la place du Capital, s'il vous plaît. Vous prenez la rue Cuja, puis la deuxième, et vous arrivez à la place du Capital. C'est loin d'ici? Non, c'est à 10 minutes à pied à peu près. Lots of really nice stuff in there. Nice little introduction here. Je suis un peu perdu. I'm a little bit lost. You could use that when you were talking to someone and you're not really sure what they've just said and you want them to slow down. I mean, of course, you can say répétez s'il vous plaît, but it's nicer, sort of like softer, isn't it? A little bit more sort of like smooth to say, je suis un peu perdu. Vous pourriez répéter s'il vous plaît? So if you were a little bit lost what somebody was saying to you, you could say that as well. So, je cherche, so I'm looking for, je cherche la place du Capital. And then, vous prenez la rue Cuja, so you take. Now, what's quite nice in this phrase as well is that we've got some nice connectors. So, puis, and then, that's a nice way to make your phrases a little bit easier for the listener to understand, is you've got a nice chunk. That's the first chunk there. Vous prenez la rue Cuja. Puis, that's our second chunk, isn't it? So then that's nice to introduce that. La deuxième à gauche, the second on the left. Et, voilà, we got our third chunk being announced. Vous arrivez à la place du Capital. If you were listening to this, you've got 3 chunks of information there. It's not just one long rambling dialogue. So that's useful when you're listening to try to chunk things out. Also when you're thinking as well. C'est loin d'ici, is it far? C'est loin d'ici? Non, c'est à 10 minutes à pied, à peu près. Now that's nice. It's 10 minutes away on foot. Now that's really hard if you sort of like think of it in English. Oh my goodness, how am I going to say that? And I think most people would go to the verb marcher, and that's not the one you need here. So it's 10 minutes on foot. So c'est à 10 minutes à pied. And notice that this has got 2 syllables in it. Pied, pied. And then another nice little expression here. À peu près, à peu près. Now, when you hear this, it will sound like one word, à peu près, because it's said in one chunk like that. And you'll see someone do that with their hand at the same time, à peu près. So obviously it means approximately. Nice little one for you to use in all sorts of situations. So this vocabulary isn't just applicable to directions. There's lots of really good base stuff that you can use elsewhere in other scenarios. But we're in Paris now, à Paris. Pardon, madame, où est l'arrêt du bus 96, s'il vous plaît? Vous traversez la place de la Bastille, vous tournez à droite dans le boulevard Beaumarchais, puis vous prenez la deuxième à gauche. Vous allez voir l'arrêt du bus devant, derrière vous. C'est loin? Non, c'est tout près. Right, a few things to draw your attention to here. So we've got the verbs. I mean, we've got the key verbs for when you're being directed. So you've got prendre, arriver, traverser, and tourner are key verbs when you're asking for directions. Où est l'arrêt? L'arrêt. Temptation is to pronounce that T, I think, because you're always using the verb arrêter. But this is the noun. So, l'arrêt du bus 96. You cross the place de la Bastille, you turn right in the boulevard Beaumarchais, and then here the puis, you take the second on the left. Vous allez voir, you'll see. You will see. L'arrêt du bus, and then here we've got a few prepositions. Great way to practice our prepositions. Devant, in front of. And I think everyone knows derrière, don't they? Derrière, behind. C'est loin. So here we had c'est loin d'ici. You can make it even shorter. C'est loin, is it far? Non, c'est-tu prêt? C'est-tu prêt? No, it's really close. You could be the person answering the question about where things are. Non, c'est-tu prêt? You can use that in any situation where you'd say it's really close. If you were getting someone to guess something, you could say, oh, but tu prêt? Tu prêt? Or you put two things side to side. Okay, now we're in Lyon, à Lyon. But also, can I just point out that the towns, when we say in, are à. So, yeah, so not dans, as we would like to say. But if you want to, you can actually use the preposition sur as well for a town, but it's a bit more colloquial. So you could use, for all of these, you could say sur, but it's more verbal. You wouldn't write that down. So, à Toulouse, à Paris, maintenant nous sommes à Lyon. Okay. Pardon, madame, pour aller à la place Bellecour, s'il vous plaît. Vous suivez le Rhône, vous prenez à gauche la place Antoine-Poncet, et vous allez voir la place Bellecour au bout. So this is a different way, isn't it, of asking. So we've had different ways. Où est, we've had, which is nice and simple. Another one here, pour aller. This is probably the way that I would ask it, personally. You were going to pick the way that you like most. So pour aller à. Or if it was a masculine thing, au, or if it was a plural thing, it would be au-x. So pour aller wherever you want to go. S'il vous plaît. Pardon, madame. That's a nice bit of politeness. Here we've got the verb, you probably recognize it, suivre. So vous suivez le Rhône. So follow the Rhône, which is one of the rivers in Lyon. Vous prenez à gauche, take the left. Prenez à gauche la place Antoine-Poncet. So that's the name of the street that we're turning into. Or that's the place we're turning into. Et vous allez voir, so you're going to see it, la place Bellecour, where we want to go. And then au bout, lovely phrase, at the end. Or at the end of the street, at the end. But you can use au bout for anything which is at the end of anything. So au bout de mes doigts, at the end of my fingers, for example. Au bout de mes nerfs, at the end of my nerves. Yes, you can use it for all sorts of different things. If you want to say someone was at the back of the room, au bout de la salle, or au fond as well. So à Dijon, or we could say sur Dijon if we like. Pardon, monsieur, où se trouve? Look, we've got so many ways of asking where things are. Où se trouve? This is one I'd probably use as well. Où se trouve? So where would one find, or where it finds itself, I suppose. So it's a reflexive verb. Se trouver. This isn't I'm looking for. This isn't, or I found. This is se trouver, is where is it situated? Se trouver is the infinitive. Le palais des Ducs de Bourgogne. C'est tout droit. C'est au bout de la rue Vauban. So it's straight ahead, tout droit. Now that's straight. That's that's tout droit. It's nothing to do with à droite. À droite is spelled differently. Let's see if we can see that written. Have we got an à droite? It's always on the left. No, here we go. À droite is spelled like that. I know it's similar, but c'est tout droit is straight on. And droit means straight. Okay, it means straight in and also means rights actually, but we won't go into that because that might confuse you. So okay, c'est au bout de la rue. You know what that means now because that's the same as this, at the end of the road. Au bout de, and it's de la because the rue is feminine. Yes, if it was au bout du jardin, that masculine, it would be du. Good. Useful. À Strasbourg maintenant. Pardon, madame, où est-ce que je peux trouver une pharmacie? Now, this is a little bit more polite, a little bit more formalized, because if we go back to up here, où est, that's pretty straightforward, simple. Then when you start to put in the est-ce que, which actually gives you thinking time, you're making it a slightly more formal kind of question. So, où est-ce que je peux trouver une pharmacie? Vous continuez tout droit et au premier croisement, vous allez voir une pharmacie juste au coin. Elle est à l'angle de la rue des Grandes Arcades et de la rue Sainte-Hélène. So where can I find a pharmacy? You carry straight on. There we go. Continuez tout droit. And at the first crossing, you will see. Vous allez voir. Vous allez voir. We've used this all the way through, haven't we? You'll see. Vous allez voir une pharmacie juste au coin, just on the corner. Juste au coin. Elle est à l'angle. And the L is referring back to une pharmacie. Yes, it's feminine. That's what the L is. So elle est à l'angle de. It's on the corner of, and these are the names of the roads. So this is a very polite way of saying it. We've had où se trouve. That's fairly quite neutral, really. Pour aller à is quite neutral. Où est is a bit simple way of saying it. Nothing wrong with it. There's nothing offensive about it. And then this is a little bit more of a preamble going into it. You could turn it around if you like. So, for example, let's take this one. Où se trouve le palais des Ducs de Bourgogne? If you want to, you could say les palais des Ducs de Bourgogne se trouvent où? And then put your question word at the end of the phrase. Yes. Okay, so you can do that as well. So it's just actually showing how many questions you can ask for such a simple thing, really. Which goes to show actually just learning set phrases is probably not the way to go. Being able to have lots of flexibility is useful, isn't it? Okay, last one. À Marseille. Pardon, monsieur, est-ce qu'il y a une station de métro par ici, dans le quartier? Both of those would work. Oui, c'est facile à trouver. Vous allez jusqu'au bout de la rue et le métro Castellane est juste en face. So, est-ce qu'il y a, is there, a station de métro? Par ici, around here. And that's simple for around here, par ici. Or dans le quartier, in this area, par ici, around here. The other one you could add to that is dans le coin. Dans le coin, that doesn't mean in the corner, although we have seen it used as being in the corner. Dans le coin means in the neighborhood, around here. It's another useful one. Oui, c'est facile à trouver. Yeah, it's easy to find. Vous allez jusqu'au bout. Oh, we haven't seen this word, I don't think yet. Jusqu'au, up until, and we know bout, up until the end of the road. And the métro Castellane est juste en face, is just opposite. If this has reminded you about prepositions, it might be a good thing to do, to just have another look at your prepositions, to know that you know where to place things. Because you don't just use them for physical placing. All of this language is useful in all sorts of situations. Bravo, très bien. Good, I hope you got everything jotted down that you wanted to jot down. And perhaps there's one or two that you'd prefer over the others, and they're the ones you want to try out. Bon, ok, merci beaucoup. Et puis, à la prochaine alors. Au revoir. Au revoir.